All that to say subscribers don't matter?
Yes. There is a system in place for monetization where I'm being judged every time I upload a video, and they're saying right now, we trust you. Could it not exist for, community guidelines?
My hot take is get rid of the subscriber number and the view numbers on videos. That's my hot take.
No, I don't want to put that in the hands of an algorithm.
Let it figure it out. Algorithm. Like, don't put that on me. Hey, welcome back to the only podcast where Dan thinks everything's loud and no one else does. I'm Travis, and I'm here with the entire crew. The most special of podcasts. I'm here with Jen. Say hi, Jen.
Hello.
Rob. Say hi, Rob.
Hello, everybody.
And Dan.
Why is everyone yelling?
See, this is the thing. So Dan has problems with his headphones, but we love him just the same. If you're new here, this is the vidIQ podcast. And if you're watching on the main channel, hello. We have all types of things to talk to you about today. We're going to go over the updates that vidIQ has talked about on YouTube that YouTube has lovingly given us. Have you guys seen all the loving updates that have come out?
Seen them. I've been making videos every frigging day about them. Goodness, I'm burnt out.
Rob,
YouTube,
are you familiar
stop updating
with
stuff.
any of these things?
Goodness.
We'll fill you in. Don't worry, Rob.
All right.
Yeah, in case you didn't know, YouTube released several updates. The Censor update, AI age verification, the title comparison tool, and we're going to answer some of your emails that you've sent in. If you're interested, we'll tell you how to do that a little bit later. But let's start with what I thought was one of the funnier updates that came out this week. It's not really a censor update. It's more of you can now make money by saying things that previously you might not have been able to say before. And Rob made a great video this week censoring 70% of the words that he said. What do you guys think about that? Let's start with Rob.
I'm a bit indifferent to the update because one of my YouTube policies, well, that sounds a bit weird, but one of my own internal policies is that I don't like to curse or swear. And maybe it's because I'm representing vidIQ, but even on my previous channel, I didn't like to do that. But I guess lots and lots of creators welcome this. And it feels like the advertisers have kind of figured out again a little bit more that YouTube is a more, how do I put this, liberal and accepting place for all types of content. So yeah, I think it's good news for everybody that I can think of, as long as YouTube are able to correctly, restrict the content for the right audiences so that, kids aren't playing videos and all of a sudden there's F-bombs being dropped in the first few seconds. Do we think that, I know we're going to get to it, but do we think that this update was also tied to the age verification update?
It's funny you say that. I was literally going to mention that when we get to that point. But let's real quick, for people who didn't catch it, what is a censor update? It's not even a censor update. All it is it now allows you to have more opportunity to monetize your videos without the yellow monetization icon. If you do drop more F-bombs and other bombs all throughout your YouTube videos.
Other bombs.
All the bombs.
All the bombs. Oh, there's one. If you drop one of those, you still might get monetized. So, Rob doesn't curse. I'm pretty sure Dan doesn't. I think in his regular everyday life he does.
Yes. In my regular everyday life, I am like a sailor. But all of my training came from radio and then came over to YouTube, and you don't cuss on radio. And I don't mind it. I don't feel like it's like me having to stifle any part of my personality or anything like that. I think it literally is just a choice. Like Rob said, your content appeals to a wider audience. If you decide not to say those things, and not because YouTube's going to restrict it, but simply because people watching will be like, oh, I can watch this with my kids in the room, and it doesn't have to be a big deal.
Absolutely. Jen, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, in the vlogging space, I think you can kind of be yourself, but I don't remember seeing very many. Well, I guess it depends on the vlogger, but it doesn't seem to be a prevalent thing in vlogging as a general rule.
I don't think it's that, I don't know, impactful of an update. I think it answered a lot of questions that creators had when it comes to the rules. Can I curse? Can I not curse? It almost felt like they were kind of rumored, oh, you can't have it in the first few seconds. Well, what words can't be in the first few seconds? So I think there's clarity on it now, but I don't know. Is it really a big deal?
So speaking of this, what Dan mentioned earlier, AI age verification. First of all, what's going on with this, Dan? What is this update?
Yeah. So the way it's going to work, and this has already been rolled out in other regions, it's just coming to us next, is that YouTube is going forward, ignore what you've told them your age is, and they're going to use their signals on their end to determine like a rough guesstimate of whether or not you're over 18. I would say the main reason I don't like it isn't necessarily, well, one, it's the privacy concerns. I don't know who I'm going to be giving my personal information to, but the other reason I don't like it is that there's other things that other like friends of mine who are parents have seen on YouTube Kids that made them stop using YouTube Kids, for example. And I'm like, hey, if the content itself isn't being identified correctly across YouTube as it is, if that's true, then are they going to be getting people's ages right? Like, and if you guess that someone's over 18 and you're wrong, and now you can cuss in videos in the first few seconds and all this other stuff, like, isn't this potentially going to do more damage, more harm than good? And I don't know. All we can do is speculate as usual. And as usual, I think stuff like this rolls out. YouTube makes a whole bunch of mistakes. They learn, they fix it. But
yeah, according to YouTube, they've been doing this in the UK for a while now, and it supposedly is successful. And it's really complicated for a company like YouTube because internationally, countries have different rules, regulations, and laws regarding this stuff. I don't think from a creator's perspective, this is going to affect many people. I certainly am not thinking about it if I'm creating something. Are any of you worried about it from the creator standpoint?
You know, similar to the AI monetization update, I think if you are a morally and ethically sound creator, then, you know, theoretically, you should be pleased that YouTube is trying to safeguard the users of a platform.
Gentendo, what do you think?
I think that was really well said. I think if you're not doing anything wrong, like, what do you have to worry about? Like, I can't think of an instance where this would be detrimental to a creator who was just honestly making the right content for the right audience. So as a viewer, I think YouTube's going to think I'm 80 years old, but that's a viewer problem.
Hey, yo. So another update that came out recently, which I think, I say update that came out, it didn't really come out. Like the information about it came out. The actual feature's not out to everyone. It's the title comparison tool, which is similar to the thumbnail tool. I remember when the thumbnail tool first came out, everyone was excited about it. Actually, matter of fact, Rob, can you tell us how it works based on what you've seen and how you use it?
So you can test 3 variants of titles. The thumbnail remains the same. 3 variants of thumbnails. The title remains the same. Or you can do 3 variants of whatever you want. So different title, different thumbnail.
But importantly, a title is married to a thumbnail. It doesn't just keep rotating them around. It could be very
correct.
confusing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's interesting. And it's actually an important point.
If you understood that, listeners, good job. Well done.
I mean, it's not that complicated to understand, but I think what is important is, unlike titles, which just kind of switch through and rotate and try to figure out, like, over time what's working best, this, you still have, there's still an error potential from the person not understanding what a good packaging is between title and thumbnail, because you could put the wrong quote title and thumbnail together based on what you have, thinking that that's the connection, where it would be better if YouTube rotated them around. It's like, oh, this title with this thumbnail actually performs best. I wish, and I know this is asking for too much, 3 titles, 3 thumbnails, and it just rotated them through. And it combined the things until you had a winner.
How would you display the results of that, though?
Yeah.
I don't
How many?
know. Not my problem.
1 million views.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
This
That's
is
it,
for
you
Dan's
win.
benefit. 1 million views.
Yeah.
You win.
I have to say, now that we've explained how it worked, I've used this a little bit. I've come to the conclusion that I hate it. At least for me. Because I was trying to test 3 thumbnails with 3 different titles, the decision fatigue in packaging a video set in very quickly. And trying to figure out which title should go with which thumbnail was the most exhausting experience just in the few videos I've tried this with. I'm at a point now where, for my own mental health, I am only doing one or the other. I will either test 3 thumbnails or I will either test 3 titles, but I will not mix and match anymore. And that's just my personal experience with it. Other folks out there might be making smaller changes than I'm making, and maybe it's a little easier for them.
I get it, though. I get what you're trying to say there. And then this goes back to what I said. I wish you could just have 3 thumbnails, 3 titles, and let it figure it out algorithmically. Like, don't put that on me.
But does anyone else here feel like thinking about your packaging to that degree can have a more detrimental effect?
Well, I completely agree with that. It's exhausting. I definitely have my own feelings on how it works. But I think, I don't know, I think it takes excitement away from publishing. Like, you go to finally, like, publish that video, and you're like, I don't even know what I did here, and I don't even know what's gonna work.
Rob, what are you thinking about this, as you've heard what we all think?
Is it nice to have, even if you don't necessarily use it? I'm sure there are teams of creators who have, like, thumbnail designers and title experts are having a field day with this, but maybe from an individual creator's point of view, it is just more stress and paralysis of choice. What I found with the thumbnail testing when it came out is that even after having it now for 18 months, has it really influenced how I make my thumbnails or how different they are? And I still can't give you a definitive answer to that.
Yeah, I know. And this kind of happened with the thumbnail thing, which, you know, creators for years wanted to have. Then we got it, and then a lot of people are like, I don't use it because it either doesn't work or I don't like the way it works. And at least YouTube's trying to give us the tools we ask for, but it does beg the question: like, are these tools, are they necessary? I think they're helpful at times. At times they're helpful to tell us we don't actually need them. We need to understand our audience a little bit better. I think that's the best thing that they've done with these tools, is made us realize that maybe we don't need them. One of the last updates I want to talk about is actually really important. It tells us more about our viewership and finally lifts the veil of like hidden information that YouTube has. Is the viewer updates, or not even subscriber, but our viewer updates, the regular, casual, and new. If you haven't seen this, what an incredible update this is. It takes your audience and separates them into categories: new, casual, and regular. And then there's definitions of each. Essentially, your regular viewers, what you would think they are, they come and watch your content kind of regularly. Casual, just every so often, and gets to see your content. I think it's like once a month, every couple of months or whatever. And new is like someone who's maybe never seen you before. And it shows you things like average view duration and that sort of thing. And it's been so useful, I think, in disseminating what content works for what type of person.
I'm still trying to figure out the long-term value of these metrics, but what it tells you off the bat is just how powerful regular viewers are, in that they watch for twice as long, typically, on your videos, and they watch twice as many videos as new and casual viewers. So ideally, what you want to do is take these new viewers on a journey through to being more loyal, regular viewers.
Jen, if you were coaching someone with this these analytics that just came out, what kind of things would you be focusing on?
I think it's so fun. I was like, I love that we have like this on mobile too. Sometimes we get things that are just like so in depth only on desktop. And we have such an easy to read. Like, I'm looking at my phone right now, and it's so easy to see when you scroll right down the 3 swipe aways where it's popular with new viewers, popular with casual viewers, and popular with regular viewers. And you see those top 5 videos. And it's like you can very easily back and forth compare what videos have made it into all 3, which videos are specifically making it just for new viewers. And also monitoring this, like if you're doing a channel pivot in any kind of way, like you want to be seeing those regular viewers kind of go down. Like you want to see these analytics look different for a different phase that you are on for whatever you're trying to do on your channel.
All right. So if you're watching the YouTube video, we actually have talked more about this than you've seen so far. A lot of it's been edited out. If you want to see the whole thing, there'll be a link in the description below. And also, if you're a listener to the vidIQ podcast, whether you're listening on audio podcasts or on YouTube, you know that we take your emails and we answer them. So we got 2. We got one from a regular. And the way you reach out to us is you send us an email at theboost@vidiq.com, and we may answer it. And today we are going to answer 2 of these. One of these just came in. Jen and I are going to go into the studio soon, so I have a bunch of those already ready for that. This one just came in from Frank the Dank, which is a good friend of ours. What up, vidI crew? Lately, my videos have been absolutely tanking, like single-digit views. A bad feeling after finally getting to where I was getting at least 100 or hundreds of views per video. To top it off, I went to my analytics and my videos are hardly getting any impressions, like not even 200 in a matter of weeks. I decided it was time to put on my sleuthing cap and turned on restricted mode, which we've talked about on this channel many times. And of course, none of my recent videos are there, and a ton of my old ones have disappeared. To add to the despair, not a single one of my more than 200 live streams are visible either. I really don't believe in shadow bans, but this one really has me concerned and wondering what the heck is going on. What do we think is happening here, and what do we think he should do?
I mean, we obviously have to ask the obvious things, like, have you had a change of topic? Like, did you receive a copyright claim, or is it like there's been a guideline strike? Is there something else that could have influenced it? So as usual, we don't have the full picture.
I think this is like a really complicated one. And while I would love to have like really helpful advice, this feels like something like I would reach out to YouTube. I would try my best with YouTube support so like they can actually look into your channel and tell you what the issue is. And I know people have issues with YouTube support all the time. And I would just say keep trying until you get someone that's helpful.
They did say, Jen, though, in the comment of it, that had they not appealed some?
They appealed some, yeah.
How do you appeal a restricted video? I
No
didn't
idea.
realize that was a thing.
I have no idea either. But I do like that they said you should be able to see restricted content in studio.
I agree with
Yes,
that.
I agree with that 100%. I brought that up to YouTube. I've been like, what's going on?
When you're uploading a video to YouTube, I just did this so I could get the language exactly right. I'm uploading a video right now. They've already posted. I'm going to delete it. So first, there's the details tab where you fill out your title and everything. Then there's the ad sustainability tab where if you're monetized, you rate your video whether or not it's sustainable for ads. And there's a whole bunch of questions. It's inappropriate language, adult content, violence, and it goes on. Like, so you admit to YouTube that you have, adult content in your video or whatever. Now, usually for me, I don't cuss or anything, so I go through those really quickly and I say none of the above. When I click that, YouTube tells me at the very bottom, before I hit next, it says, your rating accuracy is high, so we'll monetize your video with your input. If there's a strong sign your input is inaccurate, your monetization status may change. So there is a system in place for monetization where I'm being judged every time I upload a video, and they're saying, right now, we trust you. Don't screw up, is how I read into this. And so if that system exists for ad suitability, could it not exist for, community guidelines, like things that you bump up against?
Again, if you want to send us a message and you're listening to audio podcast, there's a link in the show notes that allow you to send a text message. Or if you're listening to everywhere else on the YouTubes and all the other places, you can, of course, send us an email to the boost at vidIQ.com, which is exactly what this next person did. Death City Mutants. We were a band that was on our way in the 90s that had something of a large local following, but we broke up like bands do.
Oh, the drama.
We recently got back in the studio and we were recording some new songs and riffing and jamming, came up with these 2 songs for vidIQ and all you do for us. We have a unique sound. We were a Celtic punk hair band is probably the best way to describe us. So it might not be your style, but we hope you enjoy. We love a review of or some ideas of how we can better grow our channel, recapture our old fan base, and introduce our music to a wider audience.
I have an idea in my mind what this is going to sound like.
Well, wait until you hear it.
What a drop.
I'm just imagining you two now walking down as a mixed tag team match at WrestleMania.
I'm a mark for any time that someone says my name in a song. I'm always about that. Last thing we're going to do.
Hang on. They wanted some advice.
Well, that's what I'm. Oh, yeah. Okay. No, we don't need to do that. We're not helping people here.
Oh, yeah, we said delete the channel, Dan.
Didn't you hear that?
That is what you would do. So, yeah, I guess there's your answer.
No, music is hard. Not gonna lie. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
Anyone have any advice for a music channel trying to gain back their? Other than doing the obvious, which would be like covers.
I have a couple things. So, one, I noticed in their email, of course, they're like, well, we got some of our songs and used AI visuals for them, and I wanted to just let them know that you should pay attention to the comments on those, see how people are vibing with it, because if you use obviously AI visuals, people might assume it's AI music as well. And if you don't want that assumption, that's something I would just consider. And the other thing I was going to say is that you already have this talent and the writing is excellent. I would say you should be making songs for other things, even like not songs you would necessarily put in an album, just to gain attention in YouTube and YouTube Shorts. Like, write a song about current events, whatever it is that's interesting you, whether it's politics or just like entertainment news or whatever it is. And the like, what would Rob Wilson do is like, there's a funny song. I don't know if it's intending to be funny. I think it's funny to us, but like the comedy is there in sometimes just pointing things out with music. And I think you could get a lot of traction on your regular stuff if you do really off the wall stuff like that.
I love it. All right. So final thing, we're going to play a little game here. We're each going to have like a little hot take and see if we can convince the other people that our hot take is correct. So I'll start. And that is super simple. I believe titles are more important than thumbnails. Change my mind. Jen, start. Do you think you agree with me, as you should, because I'm right? Or do you disagree with me, and tell me why?
I think that no matter what, you have to have the best thumbnail to grab attention, and the title is what makes somebody watch.
Right.
But I don't think you could just have a title stand on its own as the most important feature.
Okay. Rob Wilson, what do you think?
I'm going to be a bit of a fence sitter here and say that if you're very familiar with the creator, then you just see the thumbnail and click. I think if you're unfamiliar with the creator, the thumbnail will catch your attention, and then the title, yes, will probably convince you to click. But there's also the consideration of you always need a title. You don't always need a thumbnail, because that can be automatically selected for you.
Rob, what is your hot take, and what should we convince you of?
Creators, this is two creators. If you love something enough, you need to set it free. And that is subscribers.
All that to say subscribers don't matter? Is that what you're saying? Hot take?
Yes.
All right.
Hard agree.
I agree with this.
Yep.
I'm not even going to argue.
Oh, well, it's not really a hot take then, is
Yeah,
it?
you're not very good at the game,
I-
but I
It's
agree.
a
with
very
you.
lukewarm.
Yeah,
cold
way
hot
to
take.
go,
Yeah.
Rob. That's funny. I was going to have one of mine be like, your audience is who's unsubscribed, not your subscribers.
Yeah.
Hey, I like that.
But also bad at the game. Like, it's not controversial. Not for
Yeah,
us.
exactly.
that was
It's
bad.
I think
Very-
maybe
yeah.
listeners are
Thanks
like,
for
no.
taking that bullet, Rob. Glad I didn't use that one.
What do you think about, like, do you think the subscribe button should be binned, or do you think it needs to be resurrected? Do you think it can be served and used for a new purpose?
My
Who's
hot
gonna
take
go?
is get rid of the subscriber number and the view numbers on videos. That's my hot take. You remove the views and you put in something that's an amalgamation of, because YouTube always tells us that they have these signals of people enjoying the content. You put that there instead, either like a like percentage or a view, like average viewer likes this at 80% or something like that. I don't need to know the views. Tell me how much I'm going to like this video.
That's
'Cause I don't-
interesting.
This is a hotter take. No. I'm just saying YouTube is not going to get that right because it gets it wrong for me personally all the time. I don't want to put that in the hands of an algorithm.
I also feel like YouTube's suggestions have gotten like a little quick to assume things I want to watch again.
I still don't think that views answer that question succinctly or accurately. But having said that, we'll hold on to that conversation for another time. Definitely make sure you hit this button right here where you can subscribe to our podcast channel and watch the full unedited episode right here. We'll see you in the next one.